All this early 2000s nostalgia, I love it. It really seems like 2022 was the year of the ladies. And I could see why, because they are all just crushing it. Hello friends, it's LC and Happy New Year! Welcome to my channel if you are new, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, where I am going to be reacting to some of the top K-pop songs of 2022. These are all songs that I haven't heard before, music videos that I haven't seen, in many cases artists that I will be reacting to for the first time, so I'm excited to launch into this list. So you might be wondering how exactly I determine what these top K-pop songs of 2022 are. I kind of asked myself that same question of how do I go about figuring that out? I don't want to just go by which music video was viewed the most times or which song was streamed the most times, because that doesn't necessarily determine quality. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best song. That's a whole other video. I can make a whole other video on that specific topic. So what I decided to do was pull from a top 10 list from different online publications, magazines, blogs that cover K-pop specifically. I have put the list of all 10 publications on the screen, as well as the links to the articles in the description. And then to build the aggregate list from these 10 individual lists, that was also difficult too, because not every list provided rankings. Some just gave a list of songs and didn't put them in order. And then some ranged from as few as 5 songs all the way to 79 songs. So how did I aggregate all of this information? I went back to my middle school math roots and I decided to go with the mode, or the frequency that each song showed up on each list. So how many times a particular song showed up on each list would determine its ranking. So from there, I went through every single list and tallied up every single song. There are 149 songs in total that appeared on these 10 lists, which once I added it all up gave me a list of 13 songs that appeared no fewer than 4 times on each of the 10 lists, which worked out well for me getting to a nice round 10, because of those 13 songs, there were 3 songs that I had heard before. The first one being BTBT by B.I, Soulja Boy, and DeVina, That by Psy and Suga, and Maniac by Stray Kids. Now, from this top 13, in order to create a definitive ranking from these songs, I had to fudge the numbers a little bit. It's not an exact science here, since multiple songs appeared 4, 5, or 6 times on these lists. I averaged out the ranking that these songs got when they did appear on a ranked list, which isn't great, of course, because, for example, there are 4 songs that appeared 4 times in these lists, and then of the 4 lists where BTBT appeared, only 1 of them actually had a ranking system, and that one placed it at number 2. So it automatically got propelled to the top spot within those 4. But then Pop appeared on a list that had 25 songs on it, and it was ranked number 22 on that list, so it kind of propelled it down the rankings. So again, this is not an exact science to figure out the final rankings, but I worked with what I got. So we're going to go through these songs in reverse order, of course, skipping the ones that I've heard before, starting with number 13 on the list and making our way up to number 1. If you would like to see the complete 149 song list, I created a Google Sheet and I put the link to that in the description, and then I also made a Spotify playlist if you would like to go stream that. But okay, now that I've explained the method to my madness, let's get into it. But before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like if you do enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel.
A few moments later.
Alright, so for my beverage of the day, today I am filming this on New Year's Eve, so I have brought some Prosecco to enjoy. I was gonna open this downstairs, and then my husband suggested, like, oh, you should open it on camera. So if this goes poorly, I blame him. Okay, I'm going to lean away from all of my electronic equipment. Ooh. Haha, I'm really glad that did not make an absolute and complete mess. So this is my pregame for later. Never mind that it is 2 p.m. I'm also gonna light a candle to set the mood. There we go. So cheers, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm just picturing myself like, ding, clinking your glass. Good stuff. So let's get started, shall we? Coming in at number 13 on our list, we have Pop by Nayeon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. That's the thing about me and Twice. I feel like I'm in kind of a purgatory with Twice where I'm between knowing nothing about them and knowing a lot about them. Because I would say that I've heard maybe like between 5 and 10 Twice songs, and then I know about half of the members' names. And I mentioned this in my Christmas reaction, where Twice is always a group that I had wanted to get into, but just haven't. Why? I don't exactly know. But maybe this is my opportunity. If I really enjoy the 2 Twice songs, or technically Nayeon's song and then Twice's song that comes up on this list today, maybe it's the sign that I need to get into them more. So what I'm going to do for each of these songs is that I'm going to go to the article that ranked the song I'm covering the most highly, and then I'm going to read the little blurb that describes the song, just to give me like a little taste of what I'm about to get into. So the MarySue.com rated Pop at number 9 on their list. So here it says, it was high time for the face of Twice, the one and only Nayeon, to make her solo debut, something that she has had in common with many of her fellow third-generation artists. The lead single out of her eponymous debut EP was definitely the refreshing summer song we all needed, all bubbly and fun and as colorful as they come, something that felt very much like the quote old style Twice, declined in perfect 2022 style. And let's not forget catchy. But first I'm going to double check how to pronounce her name because I don't want to be saying it wrong the whole video. Nayeon. Okay, Nayeon. So let's get rolling with this list with Pop. This is groovy. Your heart's about to burst. Ooh, I like the harmonies. Ooh, rocking the Louis Vuitton. I want to pop you. This is very cute. I just want to dance. I mean, I'm kind of already dancing. But you know what I mean in terms of like, it is very catchy and fun and upbeat. That article was very accurate in terms of describing like the vibe of this song. And I can definitely see why this song stands out compared to a lot of like cutesy pop songs, because it doesn't feel like too kitschy or too over the top. Like sometimes the really like sugary sweet songs just feel like too sugary and too sweet, but this just feels like, ooh, like the perfect amount. Like they said, that perfect kind of summer breezy fun song. And it feels like very tongue-in-cheek too, which I always love, of like Nayeon at the beginning, like signing on all of her records, being like, yes, I'm a star, thank you. And in the song, you're basically like under Nayeon's spell, saying, I stir up your mind bewitchingly. Just remember you are in my hands. You cannot get away from me. I am very much under her spell here. And before the fluttering stops, I want to make it pop, pop, pop. Or should I say pop, pop, pop? This feeling of the heart pounding. I want to make it pop. I want to make you mine. Yeah, I'm super digging the vibe of this so far. And I absolutely adore all of her clothes. Like I'm obsessed with this like 3-piece suit. And of course the Louis Vuitton onesie. But let's keep going. Let's hear more of Pop. Ooh. This is so freaking catchy. Like it's gonna be in my head for the rest of the day. Ooh, I like the fuchsia. Like, isn't this fun? Don't try to deny you're into me. 3, 2, 1, here we go. I tried. Maybe I should just stop. I'm just gonna give up. I'm not gonna try to sing along, even though I want to. She just has so much charisma. Nayeon. That was so fun. I want to do that again. For some reason, that was like a ride. You know when you go on a ride and it was just like too short and you're like, again, that's what it felt like. And I feel like I'm gonna kind of sort of get that again when we go to our next song, even though, you know, I don't necessarily know what the next song is going to be like. But I love a like good, upbeat, fun, summery song that isn't too like saturated with that feeling, you know? Like sometimes I find in K-pop, you'll turn the dial to like an 11 on like the cutesy upbeat, like so much going on. Instrumental is just like so saturated, but here it just feels everything just feels just right, from like the drum beat to the like horns and the kind of like bass line, and her vocals too, like reaching for just the right amount of high notes. Like the key that she sang in, I feel like is perfect for her voice. And I thought the like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 part was super cute. I wanted to sing along and just failed. And she just seems like a whole lot of fun as a person. It doesn't seem like she has to act in this. It just seems like her, you know, even though I know nothing about her. So I love when artists will come off as like authentically themselves in their music. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and I hope that the fun continues with our next song, number 12 on our list, which is Twice's Talk That Talk. We're keeping up with some more Nayeon here. So of the 10 lists, Cosmo rated Talk That Talk the highest at number 7. And so they said Twice practically has a patent on cheery pop music at this point. So when their single Talk That Talk dropped, fans knew exactly what they were getting, in a good way. What's admirable though is that the group keeps their bubblegum pop reputation, all while cycling through fun trends like the Y2K approach to their latest 2022 single. Ooh, this reference to Y2K excites me because Spice Girls are one of my favorite artists of all time. Spice Up Your Life is the best song of the 90s, don't at me. And I've been really loving Mamamoo lately, and my favorite songs by them are when it feels like they're going into Spice Girls territory. Like I thought their Mic On latest album was really going into that Spice Girls territory, so I'm excited to get some Y2K energy here with Talk That Talk. So let's go. More Nayeon right away. Oh. Ooh, she's gorgeous. I don't know who she is, but I mean, they're all gorgeous, let's be real. And their fashion is just like unreal. Oh, I know Yes or Yes. I've heard that song. Oh, she's beautiful too. They're all just so stunning. Oh, I think I've heard this. I can't stop smiling. Oh my goodness. See, you know, I've always kind of said that cutesy isn't really my thing, but like when it's done right like this, I enjoy the heck out of it, because this really, really does feel Spice Girls-y in like the best way, especially with like the concept of the music video and all this like futuristic touchscreen stuff. For some reason, like Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, like that era was obsessed with like futuristic technology. You need look no further than the Larger Than Life music video, which is iconic. And they also like were obsessed with neon and pastel as well. Like I'm loving the neons and the pastels that they're wearing. Also, the CD here, oh, is 15/10/20. Is that their debut date? That's what I'm going to guess that is. Oh, and this is like quintessential late 90s, early 2000s. Feels kind of like Cher Horowitz-esque. And also the like secret agent type of outfits as well. Like, I'm loving all the throwback nostalgia with the music, with the fashion, with the concept. Like, I'm obsessed with this. And then Jihyo, which I know her name, just like casually has a gun. And I haven't been paying too much attention to the lyrics, so maybe I'll go back a little bit. Your eyes on me, your grinning lips, pretty nice, I like it, oh yeah. A to Z, you are quite sweet, that's right, but I want to skip, just skip. But the more important thing, that thing, get straight to the point. Stop beating around the bush, I mean L word. Oh, so they just want to jump straight to saying I love you. Wow, Twice know what they want. I appreciate a woman who knows what she wants. Right now I need some hints to solve the crosswords about you. Beep beep, the time is up. I think I already know, but I want to hear you say it. Baby, you know the answer, yes or yes. Dare to say it now, want it 1 to 10. And tell me what you want, tell me what you need. A to Z, tell me everything, but it has to start like this. Talk that talk, just one word. Talk that talk, L-O-V-E. So yeah, Twice doesn't waste any time. They've got busy schedules. They need to know if you're in it or you're not. So I love the directness. I can appreciate that. And you better not disappoint them because Jihyo has a gun. But let's continue here. Ooh. All this early 2000s nostalgia. I love it. See, I like the instrumental on this too. The like walking bass line. Oh, that's so catchy. And they're so stunning, it's ridiculous. Ooh. I love Jihyo's voice. Oh, was that a cat? Yeah, both of these songs have just made me want to dance. Ooh. Ooh. I wonder what that QR code's for. If I wasn't using my phone to record, I would check. But yeah, I am obsessed with everything about this. Feeling like you're in a late 90s video game, all of the fashion, the Spice Girls vibes, their vocals, like... I really need to stand this group, don't I? Maybe sometime in the new year or something, I'll do like a guide reaction because I do want to get more into Twice and I don't necessarily know where to start and I don't know all of the members that well because like everything I've heard from them, there's like the odd song that has been like okay, but then there's certain songs that I'm just like obsessed with. Like I love Fancy and I love I Can't Stop Me, and I feel like I'm gonna add this song to that list. And speaking of list, as I go from these top 13 songs, I'm going to be making my own list of where I feel like the songs rank in terms of my enjoyment. And I feel like in some cases it's going to be a little bit tricky to try to compare some of these songs because they might feel very different, but I feel like we're going to have the easiest time here with Pop and Talk That Talk. So here I'm just going to be ranking the songs and not necessarily, you know, the music videos. So I really enjoyed Pop, but I think that I'm going to put Talk That Talk above Pop. So the number one song for now, because I am incredibly biased and I was just obsessed with the Spice Girls feel of that song, because Spice Girls were everything to me when I was young. And you're automatically going to gain my favor by appealing to my love of Spice Girls. But I'm just very intrigued by the cats. Tell me more about the cats. But okay, let's move on to our next song, which is number 11 on our list, and that is Girls' Generation Forever One. I'm embarrassed to admit that I know not a thing about Girls' Generation, and I feel like that is a crime against K-pop that I've committed, because I know just like how many idols in the industry right now looked up to Girls' Generation and really like were some of the first artists that they listened to, you know, when they were younger and when they were getting into K-pop. But the very, very little that I know about them is that they were kind of like a second generation K-pop group, but now are coming back in 2022. And you know, as a 30-year-old woman, it makes me excited to hear that these women in their 30s are coming back, because I feel like in the entertainment industry, women can often be discarded once they reach a certain age. And you know, 30 is not even remotely old. So I'm here for the 30-year-old K-pop idols. So both Cosmo and a website called The Bias List rated this song as number 2 on their list. So I'm going to go to the Bias List since we haven't heard from them yet. So they said there are many times when experimenting with your pop song pays off. Long-awaited anniversary tracks probably aren't one of these times. A milestone release like Forever One should sound like a grand fireworks display stuffed into a K-pop song. It should engage all your senses. You should be able to close your eyes and see the music. Forever One honors the legacy of its incredible performers, reuniting Girls' Generation with longtime collaborator Kenzie. This sisterhood thrives within the song's lyrical conceit and its self-referential sense of nostalgia. Its blistering EDM assault slots comfortably as part of Girls' Generation's early 10s dominance, while keeping one eye on the future as the group jets into a new era. It's funny because calling it an EDM assault wouldn't necessarily, to me, feel like this was giving the song a positive review. But you know, if it's ranking at number 2 on a list of 50 songs, they must like it. So let's get to the EDM assault. Here we go with Girls' Generation Forever One. Ooh. Their vocals feel very powerful. Yeah, this does feel very like early 2010s pop. Ooh. This feels like a fun, like, girl power song. See, this is so interesting to me because, you know, I'm kind of missing out on the nostalgia factor with this group, but it still just like gives me a warm feeling in my heart, this song, because like I can feel the weight and the significance of them coming back together just from this video, even without really knowing nothing about them, especially from the very beginning of the song when they're saying Forever One, we're not stopping. And even though they're kind of like declaring their love for somebody else in the song, saying I love all of you, my everything, we are forever, it also feels like self-referential as well, of like we as a group are forever, and given your passionate heart for this excitement. Like I can't even imagine the excitement that their fans must have felt when they found out that they were coming back. So hold on, when did they disband? 2017. Okay, and then came back 5 years later. So, you know, if my favorite group were to disband this year and then come back in 5 years, like, oh, that would just be such a like punch of nostalgia where, you know, by that time after 5 years, you've probably like moved on and you probably have like a new favorite group by that point. But them just like coming back into your life could be such a wave of like joy and excitement. So I'm excited on behalf of Girls' Generation's fans who got to have this moment. And I just like, and just this line, girls, we are forever, like, Again, it brings back the whole Spice Girls feeling. And I feel like I learned so many things from the Spice Girl as a kid of like how to be a good friend, how to put yourself first. Like so many amazing messages in their music. And then they had the song, you know, Viva Forever. So this Girls We Are Forever reference just like... it makes my heart happy. And I love these moments of like photographers taking pictures and stuff of them saying like, we're still here, we're still popular, like we didn't go anywhere. I love that energy. But let's keep going. Ugh. They're all so gorgeous, like yeah, that instrumental kind of makes me think of like I Love It. You know, hold on. I don't care. I love it. I can't remember who did that song, but that's what the instrumental reminds me of. They're superstars. I love those slow-mo stills. Yeah, when they talked about exploding fireworks of a comeback, Girls' Generation took it literally. I love the outfits. Oh, that was fun. I could just like feel the joy coming from them and the joy that they were experiencing, like being back. It just felt like overall a very joyous occasion for the fans, for the group. And I don't know what the fan base's name is, but I'm happy for all of you that you got to have this moment. So I feel like I need to brush up on my K-pop history so I don't embarrass myself any further. And then this part, swear we'll be together forever. As we lived through this world, I said to you, I will love you again in my next life, because we are the one. That feels like very significant, those lyrics of, you know, we're back now, but even when we eventually disband, we'll still love you. It just like... putting myself in the shoes of their fans, like that would just be like a punch to the gut. So okay, let's pull up our ratings here. I think in terms of songs, while again I appreciate the significance of the moment, I don't think I liked it quite as much as Pop or Talk That Talk. So I'm going to put Forever One in our number 3 spot for now. So next on our list at number 10, we have BTBT by B.I., Soulja Boy, and DeVina. However, I have already heard this song before many times, so I will not be reacting to it in this video. I will, though, be adding it to my rankings. And I have to say, this song will be going at number 1 for me. I absolutely love this song, although I am not wild about the Soulja Boy part. Honestly, a lot of times... when I listen to it in Spotify, I skip over it. So part of me wants to almost put that lower in the rankings because of that. But I have played the absolute heck out of BTBT. So I feel like it feels weird to not put it at number 1 when I've just listened to these 3 songs for the first time. So, you know, could be a little bit of bias coming in there, but it just like has such a great groovy R&B vibe to it, whether it's like for the club or in the car or just like in the shower. It is just like the perfect song to absolutely groove to. So that's why the song will have my number #1 ranking for now. But all right, next on our list, we have Billlie with GingaMingaYo. And I'm very curious to learn what GingaMingaYo means. Oh, does it mean the strange world? But yeah, anyways, until I had done my Christmas reaction, I had never even heard of Billlie. And then I reacted to Snowy Night, which was a really like fun, groovy song. I really, really enjoyed it. It might have been my favorite songs of the Christmas songs that I had reacted to in that video. And it made me excited to get more into Billlie. So now I'm having this opportunity with GingaMingaYo. So let's see what NME said about it. And they put it at number 8 on their list. So they say the uncertainty of growing up as a tenant, I think that's supposed to say as a tenant, often pervades the storytelling of K-pop ensembles, but rising stars Billlie put an eerie yet charming twist to it. Case in point, GingaMingaYo, The Strange World, where the septet grapple with the complexity of life over an eclectic soundscape spiraling around a vibrant beat. Ooh. Some may say it's too much, but that's exactly why the glistening production is so alluring. Add to the equation Billie's magnetic stage presence, and the whole record feels like a statement of unpredictable, boundless potential. Ooh, that makes me excited. I always love a good weird K-pop song. So let's get into GingaMingaYo. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Quite a pivot so far from the others. Ooh. So it's like Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Into the strange world. Ooh.
What a strange world.
Ooh. This is groovy so far. So you know what? They were saying it seemed like it might be too much for some people, but I feel like this is not too much at all. It feels like just the right amount of like K-pop bop with like a really fun concept. And also, as a weirdo and somebody who cannot sit still, I appreciate the topic of this song. Like, even though there's something wriggling inside me, I hold it in like a grown-up. Why do my parents say I should stay calm and still? Friends are the only ones who can understand me. Where it feels like they're building this like strange kooky world for their fans as like a safe haven. And I remember from the last video, my Christmas video that I did, people mentioning that they have like a whole lore. So I'm sure there's a lot of references to this lore that I'm missing or not understanding. You know, from them all getting sucked into this universe and ending up in this kind of like what seems like a hotel lobby, and they go up to this typewriter with a message, and then, you know, out of the briefcase and the closet come different members, and they kind of keep ending up in some weird places, like the hallway of what looks like a hotel or an apartment building, and then there's like this and this like abandoned playground. So I'm curious to see where this goes. Let's resume. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, there hasn't been really any rap so far. I love a good rapper. Oh my goodness. There's so much going on. Oh. Felt kind of like Inception-y. I remember there being an Inception reference in the last video. And it existing in kind of like a dream world. So is this like another dream world here? And I love how they can be silly in all these concepts too. This is so fun. All of these have been fun. Whoa. Oh, 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 oh. And I like the quirky instrumental. Ooh. What are you? What on earth? Oh my gosh. I love how freaking weird that was. Because, you know, I feel like there could be a lot of pressure for girl groups to just like look pretty and dance nice and, you know, that's all there is to it. But it's cool of them to like go all the way in the weird direction and still be pretty and have amazing choreography. Like, I feel like that's a tough thing to pull off, is to be beautiful and stunning and have that really great fierce choreography, but then just make something that is just like totally wacky. And they've done it here, and I can see why this has been identified as like a top song of this year because of this whole concept. And I really love the rap verse as well. Like, what is this situation? Hey, don't play. Found Billie and it seems like it's me. It's just the same. What's the criterion? Am I right? So it's wrong? If so, jump out of it and go find it. So it's like, if I'm wrong, I don't want to know what's right. They say I'm so impatient. No way. The same expressions as if they're all copied. What's it called? Beauty of growing up? Why? Same girl. Same. I'm 30 years old and I don't want to grow up. If it's really right, am I the only wrong? If there's no dreamland and no dream, I would rather go sleep for all day. So it's like, I don't want to fit in. I don't want to grow up and be part of adulthood. I don't want to be patient. And it all feels like a very dreamlike state of just like weird, random, unexplained things that'll happen in your dream, and you'll wake up and you'll just be like, what? And that feels very much like this video, especially at the end with this giant bunny with one eye and like starry marbles as like a collar. I don't know. It was very silly and kooky and wacky, and I loved everything about it. And again, it makes me very, very much want to get more into Billlie and learn more of their discography and get more into the lore. So again, just like twice in all these other groups, I'm somehow going to have to find the time to do that, even though I struggle enough to keep up as it is. So, okay, I feel like it's getting harder to rank these songs now because we're starting to get different. Like, it feels weird comparing this song to BTBT. It even feels weird comparing to the other girl groups, honestly. So, you know, I still think that BTBT would be number 1. And I think that I'm going to sandwich it between Talk That Talk and Pop, because again, this is my bias coming into play, where Talk That Talk felt so nostalgic for me, but I still really loved GingaMingaYo and just like the instrumental and how upbeat it was. So yes, I feel comfortable putting it there at number 3. Okay, last song for this part, which is NewJeans Attention. So this is the first of 2 appearances that NewJeans will have on this list, and I had heard very vaguely of them because I believe they just really recently debuted, right? And they are a Hybe girl group. I feel like Hybe is just crushing it with the girl groups this year, aren't they? Because there's another Hybe girl group that will appear on this list in my next part. But anyways, back to NewJeans. They are a 5-member girl group, and the oldest member, oh my gosh, I feel so old. The oldest member is 18. So I think it's really amazing that such a young new group is making such an impact on the industry so far. And I can see that on Spotify they have only 5 songs, yet they're already this popular. Like, that just doesn't come from only being at a really big successful label. Like, you have to be good in order to get this much hype. So let's see what some of these lists were saying. So there were 2 lists that put this at number 6, which were Billboard and Cosmo. So let's go to Billboard since we haven't gone there yet. So when NewJeans stepped out into the public's consciousness in July with its first single, Attention, it felt like a major shift was taking place within the K-pop industry. Instead of the glossy and highly stylized debuts, a hallmark of the genre, members Minji, Hani, Danielle, Haerin, and Hyein, oh gosh, I'm so sorry if I butchered those names, were a breath of fresh air, trading the sizzling pop banger formula for something more youthful, refreshing, and chill. The laid-back track harkens to the pop R&B of yesteryear, while maintaining a foot in the present, combining the best and most nostalgic parts of old with the new, and serving as a formal introduction to the group, one that wouldn't take too long for fans of the genre to catch on to, especially by the time the group's next smash, Hype Boy, arrived just days later. Oh, okay. Wow, that is quite the build-up. So it seems like we maybe are getting something more R&B, more laid back here. I'm really loving the different styles that we've been hearing so far of these, 5 songs. So let's go with Attention. So maybe more of like a punky look. Kind of an interesting start. Uh-oh, mom's calling. This is interesting. Ooh, this is really interesting. This is so cute. It feels so like accessible, if you know what I mean. Or like relatable, I suppose. Ooh. This is groovy. This is really, really interesting. And I get what the article was saying about this feeling like distinctly different from the other groups out there. It feels like like distinctly Gen Z, or sorry, I should say Gen Z, excuse my Canadianness, of like smack dab in the middle of that Gen Z generation. And myself, I am like smack dab in the middle of the millennial generation. So like, you know, I can't quite relate to everything going on in this music video, but it's cool to see them like being so barefaced in certain parts and, you know, like hanging out in their room together. And it just kind of feels like teenagers being teenagers. It doesn't feel like a super glossy, highly produced girl group. And that's probably why they've resonated with so many people, because, you know, it kind of doesn't get much glossier or higher production value than Hybe. But, you know, they just seem so like accessible and normal, other than, you know, the fact that they're just beautiful girls. Like I could see so many teenagers just looking at this and being like, oh, that's me, of, you know, relating to wanting to go out to a concert and like be bad and be rebellious and meet a boy, but then, you know, you're just kind of stuck in your room with your mom breathing down your neck. And I very much remember that feeling of like wanting a certain person's attention and then just not just like being your awkward self. I mean, they're in no ways awkward. They're gorgeous and stunning. So that is like a bygone era for me, but like I very much remember that and it's feeling nostalgic. I feel like that's the theme of all of this today. It's just nostalgia. And you got me looking for attention, got me confused, but one thing's for sure, I know you're the one. But yeah, let's keep going.
You're so fine. gotta get to know ya. 나와 걸어가줘. 지금 돌아서면은 잊어 to look at me back. Hey, 다 들켰어 나. 널 보면 하트가 튀어나와. 내 사탕을 찾는 baby. 내 맘은 설레지. Question, drop the question. Want attention, want attention. You give me butterflies, you know. 내 맘은 온통 paradise. 꿈에서 깨워줘.
See, like, don't you just want to hang out with them? I feel like that has to be part of the appeal. Especially with them all just having like plain black hair, you know? Nothing over the top that stands out like crazy. Uh-oh. No. This is so catchy. They're all so cute. Oh no. Oh my gosh, that was fun. These have all just been so much fun. It really seems like 2022 was the year of the ladies. And I could see why, because they are all just crushing it. Like, I'm just so impressed by this debut and how they really seem to have like carved out their own niche within the industry and have been able to really, really stand out. And I feel like it's getting harder and harder for groups to stand out, that they were really able to do this, and in a way that just seems like such a no-brainer that I'm honestly surprised hasn't been done before, or at least that I've seen, is just like this super accessible concept that I'm sure like so many teenage girls out there will relate to. And part of me feels like I'm trying to be like the cool aunt trying to fit in with these girls, but you know, without directly fitting in with them, I feel like I can still appreciate. They just had to keep it simple with this like throwback R&B song with the like lots of 90s fashion and that sort of thing. Like I'm blown away. So yeah, I'm not. Again, it's getting so hard. It's getting so hard to compare these, but I think that I'm going to put this one at number 2 because that really was like an absolute fire debut. And this isn't the last NewJeans song that we're going to hear for today, but this is the end of this first part. So I'm going to put the thumbnail for the next part right here, and I will be covering the next 7 songs on the list. But first, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to stretch my legs, I'm going to refill my glass, have a snack, and then I'm going to come back recharged and refreshed for part 2. But let me know what you think about these songs. Like, how do you feel about my rankings? Please don't come for me. How do you feel about these different publications' rankings and where they've placed these songs? Just let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments, and I will see you shortly for part 2. See you later.